Louisiana beer reviews. Here we are on a rainy day, mist in the air. It's been raining for getting on 24 hours, which is a blessing. It had been so dry here. Here's peach lager from Abita's Harvest Series, Abita Brewing Company of Abita Springs, Louisiana. Best by March 13, 2017. Has a date, guys. This is the second video review for this beer. The first one was Tidwell Taste Tour, and they were very pleased with it. 4.5% alcohol, so that's your typical lager beer. ABV. 15 IBUs, also very typical, slightly higher than typical. Introduced in 2016, this will be sold from time to time. Maybe never again, maybe it will be. They use pale barley malt. Hops, they don't list. As with all the Harvest Series beers, like the blueberry, the strawberry, they use only Louisiana fruit. Gets no score on Beer Advocate. Aren't enough ratings. There's 14 ratings on Rate Beer, and it comes out to a 43 out of 100. So they hate it. And a 68 out of 100 in the style, and they don't really care for it in the style. I've never had it. I bought this at Mathern's. Seems to be doing well over there. You can see the updated Abita labels across the board. Peach lager, showing the peaches, and in the background the French Market and the French Quarter, where they sell fresh vegetables and fruit. Somebody said, why don't you do a video showing all your cans or bottles and bottles? I said, I think people would find that so boring. Oh, a few people would be interested, but so I try to showcase them as I go through these videos. And I'll show you some. Well, it's quite lively. You'll notice that Abita, most of their flavored beers are lagers, not the ales that you typically see. Purple Haze, this one, the others, even the Andy Gator Strawberry, the Stragator, it's lager. They used to have a wheat beer, but it was a wheat lager, which was an unusual item. At first I didn't like it. Said it's okay, I see. And then I gave it improved scores, and then they discontinued it. Thick, slightly off-white head. It's hazy. There's some ascending bubbles. It's hazy golden. Okay, so you would expect that. These bottles, I just dusted these things. How can the dust build up so quickly? You can see the cap is deteriorated. Steel cap. Bud Dry, sponsor of the Olympics. Introduced in 1989, discontinued in 2010. Cold filtered, never pasteurized. Born on date 136th day of 2006. Or is that 96? Yeah, 1996, excuse me, the 96 Olympics. This was my favorite Budweiser beer. 5% alcohol. 130 calories. That was what was so good. You only had 130 calories, 5% alcohol. And it was so dry. There was no sweetness to it, really. It was popular for a little while in late 80s, early 90s. Then it kind of lost momentum, and they just abandoned it. These major companies, and I guess you got to do it, they abandoned their brands very quickly. I was buying it right up till the end in 2010. Go to Mathern's, they had 12 packs, $5.98. For the cans. These cans. Born on date 18th of June 2007. Dry brewed and cold filtered. Brewed by our unique dry brew process. But I think it confused the consumers. They didn't understand it, and a lot of them just wouldn't try it. Bud Ice, that has had much more traction and has come back so strong. So that's the two cans, the can and a bottle I have from that item. I also have this big beer sign from a bar. It's heavy, and the light still works, but the agitator, they call it, is broken. It's a thing that turns, and it makes it look like the bubbles are flowing out of the tap into the, the beer is flowing out of the tap into the mug, and then it turns, and it looks like the bubbles are churning. I was like, from what I read, that's a very simple thing to replace and fix, but I was like, I don't feel like fixing it. I just have it in the shed. And I put on Facebook, would anybody like this? You can have it. But nobody responded. It's just sitting in there. Okay, and if you're watching and you want to come get it, come by and get it. Okay, so some lacing there. It's been 19 years since I've been on a Abita brewery tour, and I know that the brewery's much bigger now. Very strong peach aroma, fresh peaches. Of course, this bottle is over a month old. I think, maybe it's 3 weeks old. Peaches and some underlying grain, like oatmeal type thing. But I think it's just barley malt, pale barley malt. It reminds me of the peaches and cream oatmeal from Quaker. So if that's your fancy, you probably like it. Do I like flavored beers? No, not really. But my daughter loves them, and I know that's a big market. If it wasn't a big market, they wouldn't be on the shelves. First thing that hit me was a paperiness. Can't explain it. Peaches, a medium body, mostly, not completely, not a dry finish, but a dry, crisp finish. Peach flavor, not too sweet. Not gross or like nasty. That experience I had with that apple crumble ale from England, Moreland Brewing. Ugh, the thing was just bad, just a D. So paper, some very low level beer flavor, very low level, and some predominant peach flavor. Yeah, little grains coming in there, little grains of some sort. Like just standard grain, right? Grain. That's probably on the level of Purple Haze. Purple Haze is extremely popular in Louisiana. Some of the video reviewers love it. Others just absolutely hate it. I don't care much for it. I don't think it's particularly good. It's pretty dull, pretty blah. It's better than it used to be. I wouldn't buy it. I was going to say B-, but it's got some little oomph to it at the bottom of the sip. Right when you're about to dismiss it, it comes back with a little character. Not a lot, a little. If you want to pay $8.99 for a B beer, be my guest. So, B, good. Lots of good beers in the market. Lots of good beers on the market. So a B is nothing to write home about. But that's how I have to call it. So laissez-les bon temps rouler. A good beer, and I'm going to end this review by saying y'all come on down to New Orleans.